What's up guys, Aroneous here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the normal Hydra clan boss and a team that I utilize to get big damage. So for Hydra, I did about 57 or 47 million damage right here. I did 47.56 million, and here's all the champions that I utilize. I used Ignatius, Norog, Arbiter, Lonatharil, who is actually insane for Hydra, and I've always thought he would be really good. He could definitely be even better based on your account level and progression. So for my account, I did pretty decent damage. This is the highest key that I've gotten on normal on my own there for one key. Of course, I got Ninja and then Tomb Lord. So it is all legendary champions. But, I mean, Ninja was a login champion if you got him in the past. Lonatharil was a fusion. And then Arbiter is a free-to-play, a mission champion. The other champions are definitely very good. You can substitute out other champions for these champs as well, like Madame Ceres for Tomb Lord. Norog, you could just use Umbral Enchantress. And Ignatius, you could use Mordecai. So there's other champions you could utilize to get big damage. And so let me go ahead and just showcase to you the gear on some of these champions. So let's go and do that right now. Alright, so Arbiter is just a speed Arbiter. If I had a secondary Arbiter, the team would last a lot longer, because I would build the Arbiter a little bit different. I would go more accuracy, maybe a little bit more resistance. The speed would be at around 250 to 280 speed, more defense, more HP. So the goal would be to get way more accuracy on the Arbiter. But this is more for an arena base team, this Arbiter specifically. So honestly, if anybody has Arbiter, she's super helpful, very beneficial, will keep your team alive, does the increased attack, does the heals, does the full team revive. She's a monster, and that's why I use her. Another champion you can use in place of Arbiter that might even be better would be Mighty Uko. The reason why I'm not using Mighty Uko is because his stats aren't as great as her, and I feel like I need to re-gear him. I do have him in a decent, halfway decent immunity set with a little bit of speed, but I feel like I want to rebuild him into a go second team for arena. But anyways, he's not who I was using. So Lonatharil is definitely a big MVP on the team. Definitely want to focus this video mostly on Lonatharil because he's such a good champion in my opinion. I think he's not like S tier by any means, but I would say he's a solid B tier champion, at least B tier. If he's C tier or lower, I don't agree with you. He's at least a solid B, might even be like an A minus, but definitely a solid B tier champion in my opinion. Leave it in the comments down below. Where do you think Lonatharil ranks? But I really truly think that Lonatharil is a B tier all the way, maybe even B plus to A minus. But again, other people out there might think that he's way worse than that, but I do think he's really good. So I do think that you need to book him, definitely need to book him to get the best bang for your buck out of him and get as much HP as possible. I do also believe you should get damage on this guy because he does hit fairly hard. Get as much speed as you can, as much defense as well. If you can get his resistance to over 350, that would be beneficial in case for some reason he gets targeted. Now, I don't have my team set up perfectly against Hydra, so of course I don't have super high resistance on one specific champion. The run is manual, so when you see it, it will be full manual, and it's going to take you halfway, a little bit more than halfway through the run. I started filming it at around 30 minutes, so I wasn't able to catch it from the beginning. But you'll at least be able to see the ending of the run, and I'll explain to you what I'm doing throughout the run as well. So I put him in crit damage set and speed set, pretty basic. He could definitely grow a little bit more here. A lot of room for growth, honestly, if I get 6-star pieces as well, or legendary pieces for that matter. And then I also utilized Ninja. So Ninja, I have him in a Savage and a Cruel set. And he's only at 159 speed, so he's very slow. 4600 attack, 246 accuracy. I need to get his accuracy higher. And I might actually change this gear. I would prefer to put Ninja in a Relentless set with Cruel, to be honest with you. He would probably scale a lot better. He's going to take more turns, which means I would do more damage. And another thing, the common denominator here is none of these champions have Relentless gear. So having Relentless gear is going to be super beneficial on the account and will make you get even more damage. So my Ignatius, he's been in this old gear. This is not very good gear. I will say this gear here is old gear. So lifesteal gear, he's only at 206 speed. He's only at 83% crit rate, which is terrible. 305 accuracy. Again, this guy's not built very well, in my opinion. I need to re-gear him completely so I can do even more damage if I rebuild this guy. And of course, I don't have everything maxed out, so he has room for growth as well. Next time I rebuild him, I'm going to get him to about 240 crit damage, 100% crit rate, and then keep his speed around 210 or so. 206 speed is what he has, but I want to get his damage up with the defense as well. I want to get his defense to around 3.5 to 5k. So that would be insane. My damage would skyrocket a little bit more with that. But mainly he's utilized for the provokes and he's utilized for the HP burn. It is unresistible, which is really awesome, especially helpful for the Hydra bosses. So I went through those three champions, Ninja, and the last champion is Norog. So Norog's great. Again, this is very old gear. I haven't been able to re-gear because, as you know, as a free-to-play player, it's very difficult to get the resources you need to constantly re-gear champions. I have Norog in my faction war team, but I do need to rebuild him and make him specific towards Hydra. So I would want to rebuild him. He has 4,000 defense, which is nice. And I love Norog because he has the block buffs ability, and he has a really great passive, which is decrease the damage that all allies take by 25% that are under no active buffs. And then if they're under active buffs, he reduces the damage by 15%. And he's also immune to stun, freeze, and sleep, which is pretty awesome. So that's really, really beneficial for Hydra. So, of course, it would be nice if he was also immune to provoke, but he's not. So, because the head of Wrath does do a provoke, and I believe there's another head that also does a provoke as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So with this guy here, Narog, I would want to rebuild him as well, but I put him in Faction Wars so he can stun on certain waves. Again, gear that I just haven't redone. This is all old gear. This is all very crappy gear in my opinion too. 205 speed, 269 accuracy, 4100 defense, and masteries are done with War Master. And I think I went with War Master pretty much on every champion so we could get some extra damage. War Master on Lonatharil. And then other than that, Arbiter is in an arena mastery set. But of course, if I had another Arbiter, I'd put her in War Master as well. So there you go. That's the team. I'm going to go ahead and showcase you the run. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys for watching the channel. Consider subscribing again. And leave a comment down below if you have any questions on anything else. Alright guys, enjoy the video.
Alright, so I started recording this at about 30 minutes in. This is manual on normal Hydra. This is on my mobile device. Of course, it's Thanksgiving, so basically this is my best run so far that I've ever had on normal Hydra as a free-to-play player, 100%. I am full manual on this fight. So one thing to note is that Ninja is my damage dealer here, but Lonatharil, to point out, is one of the strongest champions in the game for Hydra. Especially for a free-to-play player. Now, you just saw I hit about 700,000 with our Ninja there, because it's a head that's downed. So, of course, we're going to hit big damage. So, you just saw I hit 220,000 damage with Lonatharil. Like I said, Lonatharil is very powerful. Very, very underrated champion. And people don't talk about him ever. And I did go for the Lonatharil fusion. Consider watching that video of me going for the Lonatharil fusion. Of course, I'm using Narog because he mitigates damage against the Hydra heads, and places that block buffs debuff. Extremely important to utilize. I'm using Ignatius to place the HP burns, which are unresistible. Unless you have a poison clouds, but typically they're unresistible at 100% chance if you book them out. And Tomb Lord, I'm utilizing him because he places the decreased speed. Decreased speed is extremely important against these heads that are decapitated. so that we can do more damage on these heads. And then, of course, once it gets to Ninja's turn, I just use his heavy hitting ability. Now my Ninja and the rest of my team would be much stronger, and I'd probably get even more damage if I have Relentless gear on all of my champions. I'm also using Arbiter, which is 100% free-to-play champion that anybody can get. This is a free-to-play account, but I've been playing for a long time, so that's why I have some pretty good champions. They're all legendary champions. Another reason why Lonatharil is so good is this ally attack on a 4-turn cooldown. I did recently fully book him on this past CVC, so now that he's fully booked, his cooldowns getting reduced are what makes him so good on HYDRA. Even when they're not reduced, he can still do really well, and this is why it's awesome. This right here. Ally attack, increased crit damage, 200,000, 80,000, 26, 26, 26. So you're getting almost 1,000,000 damage. Now, if a pay-to-win player used Lonatharil and maxed him out, they would get way more damage than me. So I'm at turn 139. So, of course, now it's going to be very difficult. I might get my champions eaten, and I'm on the part where I'll probably now lose finally because everybody's feared from the Head of Torment. I don't have Shamal, unfortunately. He is probably the best champion to utilize against the Head of Torment. Is that the Head of Torment? Yeah, the Head of Torment, who places those fears. And the other reason why Lonatharil is so good, those massive shields are insane. So this is going to be my issue here. So I need to speed ourselves up. And he ate Tomb Lord, so I can't put the decreased speed. So what I typically do is I put the decreased speed on the heads that have the green stomach right there. So it gives me more time, especially since this Head of Mischief, when he eats them, it has that stupid issue where he has a percentage chance of not being attacked unless you put, I think you have to make sure you put, right here. 75% chance of redirecting an enemy attack onto another head will not occur if you have Hex. So if you have a champion with Hex, it makes it so you can always hit him. But because I don't have a Hex champion on the floor, that causes a big issue for me. And I have to just hope that I can get it. But that's why I lose in the end, is because of this. And there's no decreased speed that I can place right now, so that really stinks. I'm hoping that I can do some big damage with this. I missed him. So my Tomb Lord is now gone. So he's the one who was placing the decreased attack, decreased defense for me. Now Ninja does place decreased defense as well, but the issue is it's on his A1, it's not on all enemies. So that's going to be a big problem. This champion, or this head over here that just spawned, the Head of Decay, is going to remove all the debuffs now because I didn't have time to provoke, which really stinks. So at this point, I'm probably at the point where I'm going to lose soon. I think maybe I'll get around 50 million. So this is my best hit I've ever had. Pretty excited. Let's see what we could do here. Alright, we stunned the Head of Torment. Maybe we'll get more than 50 million. Let's see. We'll see what we end up with. So I'll just let you guys go ahead and watch the rest of the time. I'm not going to talk anymore. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the video.